the Bowels of Netflix, where your fearless co-hosts Isaac and Larry force each other to watch the worst pieces of shit on Netflix. We will go over every bad edit, all the broken dialogue, all the wooden acting, and laugh along the way, because this is the Bowels of Netflix!
Alright, and welcome to the Bowels of Netflix. I'm Isaac, and with me, as always, is my fearless co-host, Larry. How are you doing this week, Larry?
You know, every so often, Isaac, the man comes around, and you have to eat the crow upon which you have flown here in the first place.
Why are you wearing all black and holding a guitar and a bottle of whiskey?
You had me up until the whiskey. I'm not sure what the whiskey has to do with anything, but I was going to hit you with the guitar, a la Jeff Jarrett.
That's, the man comes around is,
Johnny
what's
Cash,
his face?
right?
Johnny Cash. I think he was a legendary drunk.
The whiskey is now very appropriate for this. The man comes around, Isaac, and the tab comes due, and it's time for you to pay for your sins of the past. Court is now in session for the soul of Isaac Early and his crime.
I am guilty, and I will be punished. It's very true.
Well.
So, oh my God, how to even explain this? This is a first for us. Bowels of Netflix.
It is a first.
Let's do the thing. So we're Bowels of Netflix. We review movies. We hate each other. Do the Facebook, do the Twitter. Tell your friends, tell your family. Give us a good rating. Slap your grandmother around a little. She hasn't given you enough candy in the last couple years.
God,
that pretty much covers it, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Usually so eloquent, but you are just hot and bothered. This is great.
So if people don't know, we've discussed it before, but we had an older incarnation of this podcast that was out. We did like 12 or 13 episodes in 2013, 2014. When we had absolutely no idea what we're doing.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
We have one shred of an idea of what we're doing now. We have pop filters. We're professionals. But yeah, so, and in that iteration, Larry reviewed a movie on episode 3 called Pootie Tang, a 2001 bizarre comedy that's kind of a send-up of blaxploitation movies, but it's written and directed by one disgraced comedian, Louis C.K. It was one of his first, successes in show business. Well, not successes. It's one of his first big, projects.
Yeah, it
but
was like a
failure.
Foot in the door, even though, it was a horrible failure.
Yeah, he wasn't really known. I mean, he was in stand-up circles, but he didn't have, his famous specials until a few years after that.
Right.
And the piper has come piping, and Pootie Tang is back on Netflix, and I have watched it now.
We have talked about the old iteration of this show, but this is the first time a movie from it, because that was in what I call the salad days of Netflix, where everything was bad. And occasionally they throw on, here's that new reboot of Star Trek, and then it's mired between a billion different bad softcore porn movies, or horrible trauma, or just the dregs of what they could buy with their no money.
The weirdest B-movies out there. Just what they could get licensing rights to for dirt cheap. So they had content, because this was in the dawn of them making original content.
Yeah, it was only Lilyhammer and probably a couple comedy specials out back then when we started. There wasn't a whole lot of originals yet.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is so most of that stuff that we reviewed then is just lost in the mire of history. But this one is the first one we're now gonna have both seen.
Yep, and stick around after the credits, because there's gonna be a special little treat, because I'm currently working on pulling a selection of quotes from the original episode, recorded sitting on the floor around a coffee table and a single microphone in our horrible, disgusting home in Birdsboro, Pennsylvania.
That apartment was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, the basement. Jesus. But yeah, we're going to have a couple minutes of Lara reacting to some of the more important parts of the film that I'll also be covering. But you'll get to see our take on those things 8 years apart.
This is very exciting for us. Because, getting to actually look at our past, which I hate everything about myself that happened.
Oh, God,
basically, the day before what today is, whatever day you're listening to this is, the day before, I hate everything about that guy and everything before it even more, perpetually as it goes, back and back.
Very, very true.
It's great. This is very exciting, and this movie stuck out in my head as being particularly terrible. I remember, I remember really hating this.
It's bad. It's the worst movie I've seen in a while for this show. Because I've had a few that I've kind of, like, sort of, not liked, but, you know, we're 3s or 4s out of 10s, where it's not train wreck. I'll go ahead now. It's 1.5 out of 10. This is fucking awful.
Good. I was a little worried you might you might like it. I was, but how can you like it?
It's not
you like this?
Literally as bad as it gets. I'm sure I've had worse. I can't think offhand now, but there is not much to redeem it along the way. I don't think I laughed once during the entire movie. And I have a couple roles which are played by people which will surprise you. And there's a couple little tidbits in here that's good.
Yeah,
so
you're pretty confident I'm going to be surprised, which, I mean, my knowledge of actors and actresses is not great today, and it was even worse 8 years ago, so
oh boy,
it's very possible I didn't catch some. But yeah, this movie does have one character that I love with all of my heart and always have. Just most of these movies do. There's always one that gets me.
Like your Shogun of Harlem.
The Shogun of Harlem, that's in a great movie, so that's different.
I'm gonna fucking smack the tits off your chest, Larry.
Listen, I know I do a lot of bits in this show. It is not a bit. The Last Dragon is a phenomenal 10 out of 10 movie, and I encourage you to watch it.
Pootie Tang came out in 2001. Budget was $7 million. Worldwide gross was $3.3 million. So not a success.
Quite a flop.
Its runtime is 81 minutes. It barely qualifies as a movie, and there's an awful lot of filler in this anyway. It's pretty embarrassing.
It is like a bunch of sketches put together at points.
Pretty much. And one other thing, so Louis C.K. did write and direct this. I heard, like, toward the end of production, some executive at whatever company was looking at a cut and was like, oh my god, this is the worst trash in the world, and Louis was more or less fired, and someone else was brought in to do a final edit. And Louis said it's completely different from the movie I was trying to make, and I don't really buy that much. But just on the editing and the runtime and how short it is, I'm sure they chopped it up and made changes. I think Louis' movie, at best, could have been a 2 out of 10.
I don't even. That is a stretch.
No.
I feel like there was a lot of talent in this that could have potentially been directed towards a better end.
Yes.
But the overall premise of the movie itself is so fucking backwards.
Yes, very much.
I can't even believe that when the final fucking film was completed, that a quorum of people were like, yeah, this is good, put it in theaters. It is nonsense that this was made. I'm getting mad. I didn't even watch it again, and I'm getting mad.
You haven't seen it for 8 years.
It's been close to a decade since I've watched this thing.
And you're still salty.
I'm still mad.
So IMDb, it's got 5.3. Everything's between a 4.5 and a 5.5, apparently. Rotten Tomato critics, 27%. There's some critics who liked it, or at least gave it a passing grade. It's ridiculous. Roger Ebert, thank God, who I usually agree pretty much with his taste, gave it 0.4 stars or 0.5 stars or whatever.
It seems like one of those movies that has enough comedians in it that other comedians find it funny. There's, like, some lower floor of, like, there are some people who just, if there's enough comedians in it, they'll like anything. I feel like I've seen that, so.
And I feel like this is the kind of movie you could throw on if you're really fucked up with a bunch of people, and when you're not caring or following the plot, you're just kind of laughing at the goofy shit, and you could enjoy it in that situation, but watching it stone cold sober is not, I don't recommend it. Yeah. Rotten Tomato audience is 63%, so it's got its fan base. I don't know if it's not a cult following, but some people like it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'm learning more and more that the very first episode of this iteration that I did, White Chicks, apparently is a cult classic and people genuinely love it, which I don't know. It might be fun to revisit that one day, but not any day soon, because I'm curious to see how things change. But yeah, that has like a big cult following. I cannot say I've ever heard anyone speak about this film positively.
It might be a Jonestown-sized cult.
Oh, God. I mean,
drink
like,
the flavor.
What was that, like close to $1 grand?
It was 900 people that died, but there were 5,000 people in the cult. Just most of them were still in the United States.
Right, okay.
So
yeah.
All right, so we open on Bob Costas interviewing Pootie Tang.
Didn't remember that. Could have told you that.
Bob Costas is a famous baseball sportscaster and famously also has done the Olympics for a few decades. And I guess he does other broadcasting stuff, but I don't know, it's always sports, and now he's interviewing Pootie Tang. Mr. Tang, which incidentally is my cousin's new surname, because she married an Asian fella with a last name of Tang.
Oh,
so I didn't realize. I'm sure they're somewhere related in the Tang family.
Yeah,
I was going to say Tang clan, and then I was like, I don't want to say the word clan in relation to this movie.
Somewhere related, for sure. Yeah.
So Pootie, Mr. Tang, is an ultra-successful artist and role model. He's acclaimed at music, acting, and pottery. Get it?
I get
Funny.
it. I get it.
Costas says we're going to see a clip of Pootie's upcoming movie, which is called Sign Your Pity on the Runny Kind.
It's coming back. It's all coming back.
Which originally the title Mr. CK had for this was Pootie Tang, Sign Your Pity on the Runny Kind.
Yeah, that was the disgraced director's vision for this movie. Sign your pity on the runny kind. Oh, man. Fuck. Oh, God, it's coming back to me like getting punched in the face by Ali.
Pootie, by the way, does not speak English.
I think that's unfair, Isaac, because Pootie does not speak a language.
Okay, fair.
It's not like he speaks Spanish. He speaks nonsense.
Yeah, all of his lines are delivered with one or two discernible English words, followed by vague hood gibberish. It's like...
I'm so upset.
I can't even improv it. It's shit, boy. Find your show on the blah 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 slip side, motherfucker. See, I used too many English words.
You really did. It is gibberish. It's gibberish.
It really is.
The main imagine you're watching Star Wars and Luke Skywalker just speaks gibberish.
Okay, to be fair, we have R2-D2 and Chewbacca in that movie.
Yeah, but they're not the main characters.
Right, yes.
The movie is not called Star Wars Rise of Chewbacca, although I'd watch that movie, George. George? I guess he's not in anymore. Mickey?
No.
Mickey?
Oh, God. So, and I was trying to think, well, Louis, for all of his grievous, horrible problems, is a relatively intelligent man, so I was wondering if this gag might be like a send-up of white people not being able to understand African-American vernacular very well. But no, it just plays out as a one-off gag beaten to death in a feature-length film when it at most should have been an SNL sketch.
Was this an SNL sketch is my first question to you, because I don't know.
Chris Rock had some kind of iteration in it on SNL. I don't know exactly what. I don't know if it was officially Pootie Tang, but that sort of was kind of the genesis of it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, having a character who speaks in gibberish, fine. That's a gag that could make a decent 5-minute sketch.
Right.
Having it be a feature-length movie is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
Right, and it's not like I think it's a great comparison you made to R2-D2 and Chewbacca there, because they're like a part of the movie and they're they're like main supporting characters. But not only is Pootie Tang the main character, but like the world has Pootie fever, which, boy, that sounds like something. It sounds like the 80s had that for a great period of time, the 70s. So like everything revolves around this moron who does not have a language.
But everyone understands him.
Do they? I don't remember that. Do they understand him?
They do. Yep.
What's the joke? What is the joke?
I don't know. God. Okay, so there's so much of this movie. The plot is voiceover, which I hate. I always
You don't
hate.
say.
We find out through the voiceover that Dick Lecter is the big white corporate devil and villain of the movie. He runs the giant company that is evil. He's played by Robert Vaughn, who was incidentally in Basketball, which is a Matt Stone, Trey Parker vehicle, which is one of the best movies ever. But
yes.
he's a fairly famous actor, and when I was looking at his Wikipedia page, it blew me away because between the movie Pootie Tang and the 10 Commandments, there's 1 degree of separation because Robert Vaughn was in the 10 Commandments.
Okay, that's wild.
It's a small, like, non-speaking role as a soldier or something. But, yeah, 1 degree of separation between Pootie Tang and the Ten Commandments.
Wow. Yikes.
Oh, boy.
Yikes.
Yikes. Yikes is right. So we see a drug deal about to go down that's, like, facilitated by Lecter Corp or whatever. It doesn't make sense. So there's a group of classy gangsters in brightly colored suits waiting around a car with a bunch of drugs. Then, Larry's favorite character, and admittedly, probably mine too, Dirty D and his
Dirty
entourage
D!
pull up.
Dirty, this is a Reg E. Cathy appreciation space. God bless this man. He was in Oz, he was in The Wire, he was in this, and he was in House of Cards. He's Frank in House of Cards.
So you did know that.
Yeah,
That was the thing I thought I was going to blow your mind.
No. I recognized Isaac when I watched House of Cards. I said, "Oh my God, that's Dirty D."
I forgot about that.
Dirty
Okay,
D
I got one more
theme
trick up my
song.
sleeve.
Dirty D, God bless Reg E. Cathy. He is amazing. Dirty D is a fantastic villain. It's incredible.
How would you describe Dirty D, Larry?
Dirty D is, I mean, the name honestly, genuinely says it all. Dirty D he's just like, if you took a generic movie gangster slash gangsta bad guy and rolled him in a dumpster for 5 minutes and threw him
pile
into
of dirt
a
and
dirty
dust.
Cadillac, and he's like if Pigpen grew up, changed race, killed a bunch of people, did drugs, and just that's it. Yeah.
So it's in the universe. It is Pigpen.
I mean, it might as well be.
Yeah, fair enough.
I gotta find his theme song is playing in my head right now because I do know it. I gotta find it so we can play it.
Low down and dirty, boy, you know what I'm about. Stay out my way and keep my name out your mouth. 'Cause I'm low down dirty.
You're a sucker for music, because I didn't really pay attention to his theme song.
Low down and dirty, boy, you know what I'm about. Stay out my way and keep my name out your mouth.
So yeah, they roll up in 2 dirty cars covered in mud, various stains, with loose pieces of trash inexplicably clinging to the bumper.
I remember that so much. It's like they taped a bunch of fucking trash to the side of the car.
It's the dumbest thing.
It makes no sense.
Dirty D himself gets out of the car wearing what would be a garish white suit with a long white fur cloak around his shoulders. However, he's so dirty, it's a dingy brown-gray color. And you visibly see dust coming off of him. And also, not only is he dirty, he revels in being dirty. It's his passion, is being as dirty as possible. And we'll see that play out in a few interesting ways later that are the closest thing this movie gets to being amusing.
Yeah. he God bless him, he really tries.
Oh, he does. He's probably the best acting in the movie.
Yeah, I mean...
he's very animated.
The Wire and Oz, both of which he are characters in, are like 2 of the best... I mean, The Wire is supposed to be the best show ever made. I haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen those, but he's very good as Freddy. And now that Kevin Spacey is also tarnished, goddamn white men, stop fucking up, assholes.
I know. But yeah,
now he's my
really
favorite part of that show.
Yeah, he really genuinely is an amazing actor, and even though this movie is it is ass. I hate this movie, but it really is something special.
Dirty D is why it's a 1.5 and not a 1.
Absolutely, that is absolutely correct.
We get more voiceover introductions of Dirty D and some of the other various players in the scene, complete with freeze frames and brightly colored intro cards with their names spelled out. They start doing the drug deal. Dirty D offers up some dirty money, which is literally dirty. He opens a briefcase and a poof of dust comes out of the filthy money. He asks, "How can I know if any of the drugs are good?" The leader of the Clean Gang stops a nearby boy on a bicycle and offers him some crack. The kid asks if it's candy, and the leader says, "Yeah, the kind of candy you smoke with a pipe." And everyone has a long and hearty laugh.
Jesus Christ.
But it's interrupted by Pootie Tang, who breaks up the deal by driving his car, it's some kind of car, I don't know what it is, through a mound of trash in the Pootie Mobile. Yeah, that's right.
Honestly, this drug deal scene may be the best part of the movie. It's just all downhill from here.
Yeah, well, once Pootie shows up, it's trash.
Yeah, really, he just ruins everything.
Yeah, no, the main character is the worst part of this movie.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I also really don't like Wanda Sykes, but we'll get to it.
She's better than Pootie Tang.
Ugh, boy, what a toss-up. It's like our last fucking 3 elections.
Both gangs pull out their guns and start firing bullets at Pootie, but he easily evades them in low-rent Matrix style, like dipping and ducking out of the way, but it looks like a movie from 2001 with a $7 million budget would look. It's awful. Additionally, he smacks several bullets out of the air with swings from his braided ponytail.
Fucking, oh god.
The bullet deflecting
Back.
ponytail.
It's coming back.
When the gangsters are out of bullets, Pootie takes off his belt and starts beating the gangsters mercilessly.
Oh, the belt!
Secret weapon.
No!
Dirty D manages to escape in his Dirty Mobile, but Pootie gives chase on foot, eventually climbing on the moving car, and then through the driver's window while hitting Dirty D with the belt and, like, sitting on his lap? I don't know, man.
Okay.
Pootie gets the belt around Dirty D's neck, which magically gives him control of the car for some reason, and steers it into a car wash. Dirty D is horrified and yells out, "No, soap!" And then somehow, with the magic of movie cuts, Pootie Tang is not in the car wash or the car. Dirty D is on the hood of the car, going through the car wash, and he comes out on the other side completely clean, his suit magically whitened and dry again, and he's just rolling around and moaning, like, "No, I'm clean."
God bless Dirty.
That gag is so over the top and stupid it kind of works for me, but then I feel dirty. It's like when I fuck the couch cushions with mayo. It's like, it works. I get a load out, but God.
Oh, thank you for taking us through the entire process. Then I have to clean it up, you know.
What?
Do you reuse the mayo?
No, it's disgusting. I just leave it there.
Why? Why does anyone listen to this?
I mean, for deviled eggs. That's different.
Okay, continue. Grossing myself out.
We get some opening credits over song and dance montage. I guess it's the Pootie song. I don't know. It feels incredibly dated, possibly because it's literally 20 years old. Oh God, I'm getting old really fast.
Yeah. We were young 20-year-old in our young 20s when we started reviewed this the first time.
Clearly, this is this dance sequence is to pad the runtime, because again, like I said, the movie's 81 minutes long, but we have like 3 to 4 minutes of a full song with opening dance credits.
Ooh,
like, if you take out all the fluff of this, I don't know if it breaks an hour, honestly.
Wow.
It's rough. We now get the history of one Reginald J. Pootie Tang. I made that up. That's not his real name.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's such a believable joke that it would not shock me in the slightest. Not even remotely.
We get a scientific explanation of Pootie Tang's odd speech patterns, complete with footage of doctors looking at brain scans. And so much of this movie is literally stock footage. Like, it's just stock footage of doctors, like, walking around a hospital, and, like, someone putting up a brain scan onto one of those light boards where you can look at it. And it's just clearly, and it's, like, grainy and not filmed on the same kind of camera. It's really just stock footage.
Now, I wonder, his indiscretions and being a shitty human being aside, I do think that Louis C.K. is a talented comedian.
Yes.
I wonder if that was intentional. Like, if that was part of the joke, you know?
That's too meta. Like, if you're gonna right, meta, you got to do it right. Like Mr. Bo Burnham. I just watched his Inside special last night. Oh my God!
Apparently, I really need to watch that because several people have reached out to me specifically to ask if I have watched it. So I got
it's phenomenal. I love all of his stuff, but yeah, he filmed and directed it all completely on his own in a single room during the pandemic. And aside from him being really talented and funny as a musician, just the lighting and filming and camera work and shots, it's all really, really cool and engaging. So definitely check it.
He leans a bit too far in the quirk direction for my taste usually, but I am going to give this a shot because that seems great.
He's very meta, but he does it tongue-in-cheek enough that it works, or there's actually a joke that's clear enough that you understand why he's doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's like, I don't know, I don't get it. Why stock footage?
It goes back to my eternal question. What is the fucking joke of Pootie Tang himself? What is the joke?
Well, we learn from the scientists looking at brain scans that Pootie is simply too cool for words. But
I hate
everything always knows what he means. That's the official science explanation.
Fuck!
There's no science jelly, unfortunately, but we do get a science explanation.
Pity.
We see Signal Pity on the runny kind, Larry. We see a young Pootie, maybe 8 years old, walking down the street with his friend Truckee. We get more voiceover telling us 80% of the plot. We find out that even as a youngster, Pootie was popular with the ladies. Not girls, but full-grown ladies. We then see Pootie briefly flirting with a 20-something foxy mama. Of course, his flirting is just gibberish. But, because he's too cool for words, but everyone knows what he means. Our omniscient voiceover god...
so mad. I'm getting actually mad at this fucking movie I haven't seen in close to a decade. Just remembering it. It's so terrible.
The voiceover god tells us that, however, some ladies can't handle Pootie. And we cut to young 8-year-old Pootie standing on the sidewalk while another full-grown woman throws his possessions, mostly toys because he's 8, down from a third-story window, yelling, "I'm not taking your shit anymore, Pootie! Take your things and go!" She finally hauls a big wheel, which just barely fits out the window, which I'll give that credit, the big wheel. That got me a little bit. And then she throws that out the window and then leans on the windowsill sobbing and saying softly, "Don't leave me, Pootie Tang."
Yep, that just hit me like a load in the face. This just whole fucking bit now.
I spent my load in the couch. I don't have one for your face.
Well, a gentleman never... I'm not going to finish that sentence. Just keep going.
Oh, God. That reminded me of your gripe with the Little Rascals of, like, oddly sexualizing the children and that being funny. Like,
yeah.
God. Okay. So around the dinner table, we get Daddy Tang, his actual name, played by Chris Rock. And he
his dad was Chris Rock. Yeah.
His dad is legendarily quick with his belt, physically assaulting his young son and instilling him with heaps of PTSD before Pootie can even misbehave. Like, he goes to reach for the peas, and his dad just cracks him with the fucking belt and says, "Ask your mama before you reach for the peas." Which, Jesus Christ, you're around a dinner table. You gotta ask for more peas? Right. What kind of discipline is that?
Oh, it's not, Isaac. It's not. It's not. It's nothing. This is horrible.
That's why I'm going to feed my children with a paste from a tube so they don't get attached to anything.
All right, kids, gather around the nutrient paste nipple that just protrudes from the wall. It's time to suck breakfast.
Oh, my God. Pootie's mom then dies, leaving Pootie and Dad alone. There's some more scenes where Truckee and Pootie are out, like, walking by a market, and Truckee says, "Hey, you should steal an apple." And Pootie goes to reach for the apple, and then the belt just cracks out of nowhere, smacking him, and his dad is nowhere around. So he just magically stops Pootie from misbehaving with the belt. It's nonsense. So Pootie and Dad are alone. That only lasts for 2 weeks, because Pootie's dad, while he's working at the steel mill, gets mauled to death by a gorilla. Did you remember that?
You know what? Wait, there's like a joke where it's like, that hadn't happened since like the last 30 days or something.
Yep,
there's some joke.
It's only the third gorilla mauling at that steel mill.
That's right. Yeah, I thought that was clever. I remember that.
And of course, it's just a guy in a gorilla suit, and it looks comically bad, almost to the point where it's funny again. But
yeah, I guess.
Almost.
I remember that line, but I don't remember it being funny.
Okay, so he's mauled by the gorilla, but not mauled quite to death, because we need a deathbed scene before Daddy Tang dies, in which he gives Pootie the legendary belt and tells him, "Don't let a woman come between you and that belt." Okay. So now we're coming back into the present. We get a highlight reel of Pootie's like rise to fame and massive success. We see him interviewed on the Conan O'Brien show, we see a weird cameo from Gwyneth Paltrow on the red carpet with Pootie.
What? Weird.
Yeah, it's just like a 1 second shot where like it's Pootie on the red carpet and he's just like shoulder to shoulder with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Fucking weird.
God, I wonder if this was a Weinstein movie, just to squeeze as many horrible white fat people in as we can. God. We then see that Pootie Tang frequently makes public service addresses on the TV for all of the inner city children, which I will now quote some of it. You better wapata to the Bammies, Camatowns a biddy on the Pananistai, cigarettes and fast food are bad like Natata Batty.
That's the joke. Are you laughing at home? I hope you're... Pull over, please, if you're driving, so you're not gonna laugh too hard. That's the joke.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
We see at Lecter Corp, Dick Lecter's right-hand man, who is played by Dave Attell, who I have a weird personal thing. He's the only celebrity I've bumped into on the street. I just encountered him in New York and just like waved at him.
I don't know who that is.
Going. He's a comedian from around that era. He had a Comedy Central show, Insomniac.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I know him. I remember Insomniac.
He's a pretty good comedian.
Man, I don't remember any episodes, but I vaguely remember enjoying Insomniac a decade ago.
Yeah, and I've seen some of his stand-up, and it's generally pretty good. And he has little bit parts in movies like this. So
how about that?
But anyway, he says, Dave Attell says, he's addressing the board of Lecter Corp. He says the sales of fast food, cigarettes, and whiskey are all down thanks to darn Pootie Tang's PSAs. So we cut to Pootie's crew hanging on the streets. We see adult Truckee, played by J.B. Smoove, who was, I'm pretty sure, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, in the weird season or two, where Larry had black people living in his house, and it was just weird and wonderful.
I really have to watch that shit.
So, and yeah, I got so confused and had to do like a triple take. So, Truckee is played by J.B. Smoove, and Chris Rock plays a character called J.B., and I kept being convinced.
I remember that! I remember that being ridiculous. It's stupid.
I kept like looking at the Wikipedia pages like, no, I must have just looked back at JB's name and it's got to be other initials. And nope. Wonder if that was confusing on set. Probably
intentionally. Also, wait, he also plays Pootie Tang's dad?
Yes, he has 3 roles in the movie.
Fucking people. What's the 63% Rotten Tomatoes?
63.
What's that George Carlin joke about everybody you know is an idiot? He's got a whole bit about like...
Think of how dumb the average person is. And then half the people are dumber than that.
Yeah, there we are.
Oh, God. And then there's a third guy I don't recognize. Larry, you took great umbrage at the running gag from this third guy in the past. It didn't bother me as much as it bothered you, but his whole thing is like Chris Rock will go on some big rant about like, oh, it's so hot out here, it's so hot, the sweat's dripping down my balls, I can't believe how hot it is, it's hotter than hell in July, it's so hot I could fry an egg on my boot. And then the other guy says, yeah, and it's hot too. And now that you say it, yep.
It's such a stupid joke.
And they do it like 4 times throughout the movie, and Chris Rock gets increasingly angry at him. And it's just awful. Terrible.
Oh, God. It's an anti-joke.
Yeah, but not a good one.
No. God.
My favorite anti-joke is a horse walks into a bar, the bartender says, why the long face? The horse says nothing because it's a horse and shits on the floor.
See, that works.
Exactly.
Honestly, hearing this review, it's like slowly digging up a grave. And it's like, in my head, it's like, yeah, you know what? Now I'm hearing that Chris Rock bit. I can hear the guy say, yeah, and it's hot, too, in my head.
Yep.
It's coming back to me. Oh, man.
Oh,
this is awful.
Weird deja vu for you, huh?
I'm kind of regretting giving this to you now. Because I'm reliving this fucking nightmare.
So the 3 guys in his entourage are just hanging out on the street. Pootie shows up and greets them and all that. Then a limo comes by and Dave Attell gets out with a $20 million contract for Pootie to endorse Lecter Corp and their new pork cereal. It's delightful. It's unhealthy for children. It's a real cogent send-up of corporate America, this movie is.
Yeah.
And they start reading the fine print of the contract, and it's like, oh, you can't do PSAs anymore, and we can use your likeness for anything. So they tell Dave Attell to get lost, and that includes a slap in the face from Pootie Tang's all-powerful belt, which is his secret weapon. So this gag.
Are you, by the way, now my memory really fails, and also this movie is a disjointed mess of horse shit. Are you 5 minutes into the movie? Because I feel like it's maybe 10 at best.
Probably 30.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Nothing has happened in 30 minutes?
No.
Besides the confrontation with 30D?
No, it's sketches. It's just sketches.
Those movies are so
loosely
bad.
related.
I feel like we keep coming back to movies like that, and they're just never good.
It's almost like you need a plot to sustain you for 90 minutes to 2 hours.
What a novel concept.
God bless me. Jeez. That's a little ASMR for you. You're welcome.
Gross.
We cut to the recording studio where Pootie is working on his new hit single. And by the way, Andy Richter of, again, middling, especially early 2000s fame, is the record producer. It's a very small part. He's just in a suit, like, chomping on a cigar. He's not a bad guy or anything. I bring him up only to address the last, like, magic trick up my sleeve of this movie, because it plays his daughter, which is cut from the movie and only appears during the credits, and it blew my fucking mind who it was.
Okay.
I'll explain that at the very end.
All right. Yeah, I didn't remember him being in it.
He's got, like, a minute of screen time, maybe. So they're... Like, the record producer, Truckee, Pootie, and the sound engineer are all at the booth listening to the new dope track he's laying down.
Oh, no, I remember that. It's just coming back to me. It's coming back to me. I'm having a flashback. Oh, no. Oh, no, this movie's so stupid.
So Pootie is listening to the groove. He slowly slides down the fader for the drums. So it's just like the bass and the guitar and some backing stuff. And then the sound engineer's like, all right, no drums. All right, no drums, that's good. And he starts sliding down the other faders.
Don't do it!
Until it's complete silence. The baffled sound engineer is like, what's going on? And Truckee assures him that Pootie Tang knows what he's doing. Pootie then goes into the recording booth and very dramatically records himself silently miming singing. He doesn't make any noise. It's... And just, like, looks like he's incredibly passionately singing, but is not. And that's his single. Pootie's hit single is Pure Silence.
What is the joke? What's the joke?
Is it possibly a nod to the legendary composition by John Cage titled 4 minutes and 33 seconds, where the orchestra is instructed to sit silently for 4 minutes and 33 seconds, while the audience lays awash in the subtleties of ambient crowd noise and contemplates the boundaries of art? Or is it just stupid?
Pat Ding. I'd like to answer the puzzle.
Yes, please.
This is just stupid.
You're correct.
Hey, hell yeah!
I think if anything, Louis thought he was being clever and was a nod to John Cage. But again, where is the joke?
Isaac, there is no way. There is no way. You are insane.
I mean, I'm an uncultured swine, and I know about the John Cage thing. I feel like Louis is also an uncultured swine. He might know.
There is no... well, he's definitely swine. There's no way that was an intentional nod. Are you crazy? This movie features Dirty D, who, God bless him, I love, but... Come on!
It's an IMDb factoid. I don't know how true it is, but it says on there, like, oh, Pootie's song is a reference to John Cage.
That is somebody with too much time on their hands in the basement with absolutely. I reject this notion, Your Honor.
He just fucked the couch with mayo.
Objection!
So, a local DJ, also played by Chris Rock, spins Pootie's hit new single, which is called... Literally silence. They do that joke multiple times where there's like a newscaster, like Pootie Tang's new hit single called... Yeah, it's fucking wonderful. So he's spinning
Hilarious.
Pootie's new single, and various people are listening on the radio and start jamming out to it. There's like a kid in his room doing his homework who's like bebopping and dancing and hip-hopping or whatever. I'm white. And then his dad bursts in and is like, would you turn that racket down? Because you get it.
The best part of this joke is how hard they committed to it and made it an extended sequence of several minutes of both of our lives have been wasted by that joke.
Golly gee, Mr. T. At a local club, Missy Elliott pulls Pootie up on stage for a duet.
Missy Elliott, really?
Yeah.
There's no way I got that in fucking 2012 or 2013 or whatever, so
it's and she's got some pipes, so she's singing a heartfelt
Missy
duet.
Elliott's great.
What's that?
Missy Elliott's great, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And of course, he's singing gibberish.
Right.
And the crowd goes completely wild. He leaves the stage to take the elevator to his private apartment upstairs, while an uncontrollable groupie, he's just bum rushed by women who want to fuck him. One uncontrollable groupie sneaks off with him. Do you remember this scene?
Not really.
Man, it's going to come back like a fist in your asshole.
Great.
So they're going up the elevator. She's clawing at his chest and biting his shoulder, but Pootie seems uninterested. When Pootie gets to his front door, she's trying to come inside and for the sex, but he's not interested in the sex because he's Pootie Tang. So he ends up just opening the door a crack and slips inside, leaving the desperately horny woman outside. She cries.
Yep. I know that. I remember the gag now.
She cries in protest. "Don't do me like that, Pootie. You got to give a girl something." And then the timing of this is good. It's just the timing played out.
This is pretty good.
You got to give me something. So there's a beat. And then the front door opens the tiniest little crack. There's another beat. And then Pootie's hand appears slowly, pushing a saucer of milk out on the floor.
Yeah.
The hand retreats and the door closes. And then it gets weird when the horny lady gets down on her hands and knees and starts drinking the milk.
Yeah, right. They immediately ruin it. But that was a well-timed and good joke. Of him pushing a saucer of milk at the door. Yeah, fuck. God.
Wanda
it's amazing how much of this is coming back to me now. Oh, Lord.
Flashbacks. We see Wanda Sykes as Biggie Shorty, with a bright red wig, dressed up in typical sex worker garb on a rundown street with a bunch of other ladies of the night. Pootie rolls by and says hello in his gibberish Pootie way, and they kind of flirt a little bit, and then he drives off. So we establish that she's kind of the romantic interest of the movie. Then two creepy old white men, one of them, it's...
You can just say old white men.
No, extra creepy. So they roll up to Biggie Shorty, and one of them is hanging out of the passenger side window, stammering and squealing with giddy enthusiasm at the thought of dipping his aged Slim Jim in that sweet stink.
Oh, Isaac. Oh man, you're great at your craft, but you have to think about the fucking casualties of war, man.
What?
Your bombs are hitting civilians.
I'm a fan of the sweet stink. If you're eating, you're welcome. When Biggie Shorty realizes that they think she's a sex worker, she gets indignant and smacks the old man in the face with her purse and yells, "Just because a girl want to dress fancy and stand on a street corner with some whores, you automatically think she's hooking? I'm a lady, you greasy bastard."
Not a fan of Wanda Sykes' particular brand of humor.
Her delivery is pretty good in this. I don't know.
It doesn't do anything for me. Sorry.
Yeah. So we cut to later at the Biggie Shorty party, which they kind of established earlier. It's this big party going on, and Pootie and his gang are there. We see some more extended dancing montages to pad the runtime. Biggie Shorty then informs Pootie how she plans to climb up on top of his pole and spin like a top. There's a whole long extended thing that's kind of weird, like I'm going to take you down to the dark side of lovemaking. I don't know. It's just weird.
Okay.
There's a lot of questionable consent regarding sexual interactions.
I kind of remember him getting, weirdly... He's often the target of Pootie Tang of unwanted sexual advances, if memory serves.
It's funny that Louis C.K. might not... might not understand exactly how consent works.
Yeah, you know what? Now that you say that, yeah.
Man,
when did this stuff about him come out? Mid-10s? Does that sound right?
I'm guessing 5 years ago. Something like that.
That seems accurate. Because when I watched this, he was not yet disgraced.
No. I think it was, 4 or 5 years ago, somewhere in that.
That seems accurate. But knowing that now, boy, now that you say that, yeah.
Yeah. And there's kind of a lot of it in this movie.
I kind of remember Pootie Tang was, often being attacked
Yeah.
against his will. Huh.
So
Boy, that's interesting now that you say that.
again, questionable
horrible.
consent. Truckee in the boiler room of the club up against a water tank gets assaulted by Irene, Dick Lecter's main squeeze, who's played by Stifler's mom from American Pie. I forget her name.
Never saw it.
She's a weird kind of bit actress who kind of always plays the same, like, sex-dominating woman. I don't know. It's weird. Anyway, so she accosts Truckee and starts, like, roughly kissing him and biting his lip. And at first he's kind of like, I don't know about this. And then he's like, all right, I might be into it. Then she just kind of roughly starts sexing him against the water tank. With their clothes still on, but she's like graphically humping him. We don't see full body shots. He tells her to stop, which, you know, that should be the end of the scene. She says, only if you tell me Pootie Tang's secret. So that's kind of rape now. He eventually concedes and tells her that the belt is Pootie Tang's secret. So, good stuff.
Yeah.
Pootie is about to leave the club. He goes to get his Pootie-mobile in the back, and a mugger accosts him, pulls out a knife, and Pootie quickly uses his belt to get the knife away from the mugger, and the mugger, wow, falls down on the ground, and seems to be unconscious. Truckee comes out of the back room. He's about to tell her, oh shit, I think I just got raped and told some lady your secret weapon. Then the mugger gets up with a gun and starts firing at Pootie. Pootie, of course, deflects all of the bullets with his magic belt buckle.
Of course. It's just sensible, Isaac.
The bullets go off left and right in all sorts of crazy directions, but of course they all hit the mugger in the chest somehow, and he falls down dead. A crowd pours out of the bar, and police siren starts to swell. Truckee tries to get Pootie Tang to leave, but Pootie is heartbroken at the thought of harming another person, and he climbs on top of the dead mugger in cowgirl position, yells some gibberish, and pounds on his chest, and that raises him from the dead. And
what?
Pootie leaves.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I don't remember that.
You got a whole Lazarus scene. God damn it. Jesus Christ, this movie.
Ask you again, what is the joke?
He's magic? He's basically Hood Jesus.
Okay.
Maybe I gotta start reading a little biblical allegory into this and see if I can get something out of it.
Sign your pity on the runny kind.
Sign your pity on the runny kind. Later on, Irene assaults Pootie in a grocery store. She slams her cart into his cart.
Which one's Irene? Is Irene the
sex rapey person?
Okay, yep.
She slaps him a couple of times, which leaves him utterly helpless. And then we get a weird, smoky montage dreamscape where presumably Pootie is raped by Irene and coerced into signing a contract with Lecter Corp. Thanks again, Louis, for making this really awkward. Dick Lecter walks into the room after Pootie signs and takes the contract and Pootie's belt while Pootie rolls around delirious on the bed, crying, no, flim flam. I can't with this fucking movie. Jesus Christ. So the news comes out that Pootie Tang has endorsed Lecter Corp. And Pootie's reputation takes a serious hit in the community, and there's a bunch of news interviews with people on the street, like, my daughter used to look up to Pootie Tang, but now he's endorsed malt liquor and strippers, and this is horrible, Pootie Tang should get out of town. We get a weird fourth wall break where Bob Costas is interviewing Biggie Shorty. He says how disappointed he is in Pootie, to which Biggie Shorty says, man, he got drugged by Irene. Haven't you been watching the movie?
That's such a 90s bit. That is such a fucking 1990s shitty bit.
Breaking the fourth wall is cool, man.
Lord.
We get back to the movie. We see a hapless, dejected Pootie Tang wandering the streets shirtless with his pants unzipped, which incidentally is how Louis C.K. has spent the last 5 years of his career.
What an asshole.
Biggie Shorty.
What an absolute asshole.
Biggie Shorty picks Pootie up off the street and says she's going to take care of him and she's going to have sex with him too. Finally. Which again, like, he's like delirious and down on his luck. And she just, like,
Yeah,
scoops
not
him
cool.
up and takes him into the bedroom and has sex with him finally? Like, man, come on. God damn it. Don't, So after they bang, Pootie is getting dressed to leave. And she says, you should stay here and live between my bosoms for the rest of your life. Which is really weird. It makes me think my wife might have plagiarized her wedding vows because this movie came out well before we were married.
I don't remember that part, but, I was pretty hammered.
And Pootie's, like, getting dressed in, like, these ragtag denim clothes, and he's got a frayed rope for a belt, because his whole life is destroyed because he doesn't have a belt. And Biggie Shorty says, where are you gonna go? And he more or less says he doesn't know. I don't know how I understood that, but Pootie Tang. He's too cool for words, but everyone understands him.
Yeah, you're getting too deep into paint. You're going too hard into paint for Pootie Tang.
God damn it.
You're starting to understand him.
Biggie Shorty has a farm that he can go live on, which is gonna solve all his problems.
Sure, all right. I mean, whatever.
So he's going off to the farm. And again, we get some Dirty D action, which is the shining light of this movie.
Yes!
In prison, we see Dirty D is being visited by one of his goons, and the goon has smuggled something in for him. It's a piece of dirt, which Dirty D like palms from him so the guard doesn't see, and gleefully rubs it all over his face, saying, "Oh yeah, that's good dirt. Oh, I hate being in here, man. They make you take showers every day." And they just show him covered in filth, like in the prison showers, with 4 guards around him, just getting hosed down with a fire hose. It's so dumb, but it kind of works.
Seriously, just something about Dirty D just works. I can't explain it, but it just works.
He then curses Pootie Tang and says he's going to bring him down. Pootie and Truckee then leave on a bus to go live on the farm. Truckee has a moment where, and it's this other fourth wall thing where because Truckee does most of the narration. So he goes up to Pootie at the bus, and the narration's like, I felt so bad for betraying Pootie. And then there's dialogue of Truckee saying to Pootie, I feel so bad for betraying you. And then the narration says, I wonder if he ever could forgive me. And then Truckee in dialogue says, Pootie, can you see it in your heart to forgive me? And that just plays out back and forth where the narration and the dialogue directly follow each other for like 6 lines. And it's
just padding. It's just useless padding.
So dumb. Oh, God.
Lord.
But yeah, and then Truckee is going to come along and be on the farm. And all the way on the journey to the farm, Truckee expounds in 30 seconds of useless dialogue how excited he is to live on a farm and how he doesn't need any city luxuries. Once they get to the farm, he starts like using a pickaxe in the dirt, and like 5 seconds later is in a taxi cab going back to the city saying how much he hates farms. Ha 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 ha.
Great. What an excellent scene.
Pootie takes to farm life, painting fences, cleaning windows, planting a single stalk of corn, and rolling around in the dirt and gently watering the corn as it grows.
Okay.
The local sheriff at the gas station tries to get Pootie Tang to marry his somewhat homely daughter, which is very strange. We see Dirty D is now out of prison. He's at Dick Lecter's office. Lecter looks Dirty D up and down and says, you sure do stink. To which Dirty D simply says, thanks. Lecter's master plan is then revealed. He's made a training tape to produce Pootie Tang lookalikes. We see a clip from the training tape, which is David Cross in blackface. Not even going to touch that. Teaching would-be Pootie Tangs how to strut. And, of course, he struts comically white and without any actual swagger. So, good God.
Oh, boy.
David
Nothing
Cross is a
up.
gem, but
he is.
This movie's really dated now. I don't know, man.
Yep. It's no good.
Yeah,
no good.
it's like, it's the villain using blackface. I mean, if you're going to do anything with blackface.
It's supposed to be bad.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
you're supposed
bad.
to.
It's still not good.
Yeah.
But this is intentionally bad.
Yeah, it's mocking corporate culture using blackface, so it could be worse, but still, man. Okay.
Yeah, it's a tightrope.
So Lecter's going to open a new chain of fast food restaurants called Pootie Tang's Bad Time Burgers, and have Pootie doubles make appearances doing endorsements all around the country. He tells Dirty D the only thing that could foil his plan is if the real Pootie Tang shows up. So Dirty Dirty D has
Dirty
to go.
Ding, dang, dong, dirty dang.
Yeah. He has to go kill Pootie Tang to ensure the plan works. Oh, this scene, man. The sheriff's homely daughter shows up at Pootie Tang's farm with a cherry pie. Pootie Tang also, by the way, because he, like, every single woman in the world is intensely horny for Pootie Tang. Just as soon as he puts on the charms, every woman just instantly melts and wants to fuck him. So, of course, she is, like, quivering and her panties are soaked. So she shows up at Pootie Tang's farm.
And, folks, this is what it's like to be Isaac for a day.
What, making all the panties soak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I carry on to Super Soaker. I just squirt women in the
that's
crotch, and I'm like,
assault,
that
Isaac.
counts! That counts! I'm a sex god.
Horrible. How's your wife?
Her panties are so wet.
Yeah, living with you must be a joy.
Oh, God. Okay. So she's like very nervous and obviously horny for Pootie. Pootie sticks his fingers in the cherry pie and starts pulling out the red pie innards and rubs them all over his chest, neck, and face while the daughter moans in sexual frustration.
What the fucking hell are you talking about?
From like his sternum up to his mouth, he just covers himself in cherry pie goo while she's just moaning.
Okay.
Pootie.
I don't like any of what just happened.
Eventually, her horniness reaches peak horn, and she dives into Pootie, and they go flying through a glass window into the house, and presumably fuck.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
good God.
Fucking A.
Where am I at here? Oh my God. Oh, right. Oh, see, I'm even confused at my notes. So right after that, we get another fourth wall break where Biggie Shorty is just on her street corner again, not being a sex worker, whatever, and breaks the fourth wall saying, that's how Pootie is. If he sees a girl who doesn't love herself, he's gonna put the love in her. And she's just saying this directly to the camera. And
yeah, okay.
Oh, boy. Pootie Tang's single...
What? What? I am livid.
Pootie Tang's single cornstalk dies. He falls to his knees and weeps.
You know what? I do remember that now.
Yep.
I remember him delicately tending to his single stalk of corn.
Pootie then has a vision of his dad,
Jesus Christ.
Daddy Tang, Chris Rock, dressed up like the dead stalk of corn. His face...
Don't remember that. Do not remember this part.
His face painted to look like corn husks, and just this ridiculous costume of making him look like a corn husk. His mom is dressed like
So we had David Cross in blackface and Chris Rock in green face.
in corn face.
Corn face.
Offensive to corn everywhere.
Oh, Lord.
His mom is dressed up like a milk cow with horns. Why?
What are you fucking talking about?
They both give him an inspirational speech to go love the world and teach it right from wrong.
It's no good, Isaac. It's no good.
It's not.
It's no good.
At the local gas station, Pootie is fueling up his Pootie-mobile when the sheriff shows up and asks if Pootie fucked his daughter. Pootie says in gibberish, yes. And the sheriff, laughs and says, oh, that's good to hear, fella, that's good to hear. He then pulls his gun out and puts it in Pootie's face and asks when the wedding is. Right at that moment, Dirty D and his gang roll up in their trash cars for the big showdown.
To save the movie.
There's inane, lowbrow comedy fight stuff, but long and short of it, Pootie is still a badass, even without his belt, and he beats everyone up and reclaims his belt from Dirty D, and Dirty D's defeated.
Rest in peace, Reggie Kath. He died a couple years ago. Rest in peace, you magnificent
Oh, I didn't realize he died.
Yeah, I think he died in 2018.
Aw, poor fella. During the scene, he does, and God bless him for a commitment to the role. He gets out of the car and he's already dirty, but it's like a dusty country road, and he gets down on the ground and rolls around in the dirt, and then gets up with a handful of dirt and pours the dirt in his mouth.
Oh, yuck. Oh, God.
I don't know if they had, brownie batter, dried
I'm sure
brownie
they had
mix or
prop
something.
dirt.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Bless him. He is a joy. He is a joy. I'm going to try and find the song, and maybe we can put 10 seconds of it in somewhere. I don't know.
So, yeah, Dirty D is defeated, Pootie wins. The sheriff, however, still insists on the wedding. So we cut to Pootie and the homely daughter. They're wedding out in an open field, which, of course, because farms and whatever. Truckee shows up in the Pootie Mobile with a magazine with a bunch of advertisements for Pootie Tang cigarettes, Pootie Tang malt liquor, and so on and so on. Pootie is horrified and gets in the Pootie Mobile and speeds off, leaving Truckee behind at the wedding in the open field. The sheriff shoves a gun in Truckee's face, and now he's gonna marry homely daughter.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we see Dick Lecter at a podium for the opening of Pootie Tang's Bad Time Burgers. We see David Cross now, again in blackface, is the imposter Pootie Tang. The real Pootie Tang shows up, and there's a whole bunch of news organizations and cameras around. And David Cross just, like, nopes out of there. Like, he looks the real Pootie up and down, and then, like, cartoon leaves, like, with dust behind him or an outline of him behind him. So that David Cross had a whole lot of screen time. And then there's a big fight where out of the restaurant run dozens of Pootie Tang imposters. And Biggie Shorty shows up, and she and Pootie Tang fight off all of the Pootie imposters. It's like a 3-minute fight scene that's terrible looking. Then Biggie Shorty smashes the bad guy's car with a crane, and Pootie whips Lecter in the ass a bunch with his belt, and Lecter's defeated. That's it. Yep.
Oh, this movie's so...
Oh,
it's so stupid.
We get a Where Are They Now ending for all the main characters. The only one of which is remotely funny was the Dirty D one. Dirty D is still dirty because he's Dirty D, damn it. Fair enough. And now, this is the other mindfuck. So we got Freddy...
Okay, yeah, you mentioned this earlier. Yeah.
And 1 degree of separation from the 10 Commandments. Now, this is this actress's first credited film role ever. And her actual part was cut from the movie, because it would have been during the scene where he's recording his silent thing. But over the credits, there's like 10 minutes, literally 10 minutes. So the actual movie is only 70 minutes. Nuts. 10 minutes.
Wait a minute. So this is part of the running time? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Because there's like deleted scenes and outtakes. Like there's Chris Rock freaking out about, as the DJ, freaking out about the silent song that's such a hit, and he's like smashing vinyl records over his head and pouring a bottle of water in his face.
Right.
And
all right, Chris, take it easy.
Then, so the Pootie Tang recording scene, we get some little like cut scenes where the record producer's daughter says, like, everyone's freaking out about the song, and she like has her arms folded and says, "I don't really like it," and then Pootie goes up to her and like does his wily Pootie charms to convince her that he's a god among men. It's really awkward and kind of uncomfortable because she's dressed in like a schoolgirl outfit and clearly is supposed to be underage.
Oh, good. That's great. Good.
It's her first credited role, Kristen Bell.
Oh,
it's really weird.
That's so
really
weird. That's weird.
It's bizarre. And it's really, because she's like 18 or 19 when she actually filmed this. It's weird seeing her so young. Because I just watched The Good Place recently. I had no idea. Which is really a fucking amazing show.
Wait, what did you say?
I just watched The Good Place recently, which is the... One of the...
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
One of the most recent things she starred in. It's phenomenal. But she's great.
She does an amazing job in that show.
It's her first credited role as Pootie Tang.
That's fucking wild.
1 degree of separation from the 10 Commandments.
Wait, when you put it like that, it's really disgusting. It's like that factoid. The last credited role that Orson Welles did was the Transformers movie, like the animated one from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not Michael Bay. Yeah. He was long dead.
Still,
by then,
though. Still.
No, just wild shit like that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And yeah, that's the end of Pootie Tang.
Oh, God. Oh, it's so bad.
It's
so bad, Isaac.
The character and the plot is utter nonsense, and not in a way that I found appealing at all.
No, it's like it's driven into the ground so fast.
Very much so. And like Pootie's,
if you had him, go ahead.
He's supposed to be charming. I don't know. He's just awkward. Like the actor and the guy who played Pootie doesn't have much of an acting career. I think he's more of he's a TV really personality. He like hosts shows or something. But he's not a good actor. He was like
more of a comedian than an actor.
Yeah. It's just it's terrible.
No, it's really not. Like I could see Pootie Tang, the character, being like a side character that might be worth a chuckle in a different movie.
Yeah, he's your
But,
Chewbacca.
Right. He's too Chewbacca, yes.
But yeah, no, it's just, it should have been a sketch, and it turned into a movie for some reason.
Right.
Without the legs.
No need. There's nothing there besides Dirty D, which he does not carry the movie.
No, and he doesn't have a
Not
whole
at
lot of
all.
screen
He's
time.
amusing, and I love him, but he does not carry this picture.
He's definitely the best thing. There's a couple other, like the milk thing is okay.
Yeah, the milk gag is great. Sure.
There's some other scenes with Wanda Sykes that I didn't really go into, and just some of her lines are so over the top, and her delivery of them is just so ridiculous. It verges on amusing, but
Here's what I remember why I didn't like her. Because, like, all of her scenes, it's usually just her and Pootie Tang. So it's just her talking at him. And, like, because even when he, the rare case where he replies, it's fucking gibberish nonsense.
Right.
So it's not like they're having a conversation. It's just her, like, all of her scenes are her talking to the audience. And it's like, there's nothing there. There's nothing to that. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't like it at all when I remember distinctly, like, really disliking her performance.
Yeah, I think she performed okay, but just her fourth wall breaking and just the scene. Yeah, she's only with Pootie ever, and I don't know. It just doesn't.
It's
doesn't
not
work.
A funny bit, and like, yeah, I will admit I'm not a big fan of her brand of humor and like her comedy style, so I'm definitely a little biased. But I just like there's nothing there. Like I got nothing out of it. I distinctly remember that.
Yeah. So it's just awful. Just really, 1.5. Barely anything redeeming. Yeah, terrible stuff.
Oh, man, I'm so glad you got to see it.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
We're gonna stay tuned after the credits because we'll have a couple minutes of the olden days where Larry talks about some of these delightful scenes that we've covered in today's episode.
We've the characters we've grown to know and love. Yeah, I'm actually really excited to hear that because I haven't.
You can hear us when we're
to any of the
younger and sprier.
Didn't understand recording, and we're not as funny, half asleep.
Yeah, I think probably after we recorded this episode, we were hitting each other with sticks, and I know I lost a hoagie in that couch at one point. We found it weeks later, still wrapped up.
Oh, that apartment we lived in started bad, and we did our best to make it livable, because we ended up taking over a lease, basically, for a man who hadn't cleaned in 20 years.
Yeah, I remember
that apartment was
scraping melted candles off the windowsill.
The cans in the pantry had expired in 1997.
Yeah. Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang. Sadate is the only other thing I remember him saying.
Sign your pity on the running kind.
It's such a bad joke.
Oh,
it's such a bad joke.
And I didn't write this down, but there's like the bookend of the movie is Bob Costas and Pootie are back in the interview, and Costas says, "Wow, that was the longest clip of a movie I've ever seen." He says, "Well, you're Pootie Tang, you can do anything." And Pootie Tang says some kind of gibberish, "Sign your pity on the Runnicon," and Bob Costas looks really offended. And he's like, "What did you say? What did you say?" And Pootie just kind of mumbles against, "Sign your pity on the Runnicon." He's like, "Oh, sign your pity on the Runnicon." "Oh, thanks." And he shakes his hand, and that's the end of the movie.
Now, see, that is almost funny. Almost.
Yeah, that's a joke built out of the structure of the character, where it's actually a joke. But again, that's like the punchline to a 5-minute sketch, not a 71-minute movie when you take out the credits.
So stupid. Oh, God. Well, the nice thing is now it's over. It's over. We're free of Pootie Tang forever.
Well, until there's Pootie Tang 2, even tangier.
Shut up.
Louis C.K. is making a comeback.
No, I really hope he's not.
Insert horrible joke about comeback.
No. Come on.
That's why I kept it vague.
Come on.
They get me 3'd. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
Jesus. Oh man. So Larry, what are you watching next week? Oh right, the Pup Star thing.
Yeah.
Which one did I give you?
Better Together.
Oh right, that's gonna be fun. We can look forward to that.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
It's bad. It's bad.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
It's
Leo doesn't carry the movie. I know he's just in a supporting role, but
should have won the Oscar. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Oh, I'm so excited.
You know what though? Fuck you.
Well, yeah, you've said that enough.
Fuck you. Well,
What do you have in store for me for my next episode 2 weeks from now?
Well, another one. I've been getting really lucky in the past couple of episodes for you, where Netflix has just advertised exactly what they want you to watch. So it was like the big, like, take a look at this. This seems like something your partner will hate. So now, Isaac, I'm a fan of Liam Neeson, more or less.
Okay,
but he makes a lot of shit, and he also apparently runs his mouth like a fucking idiot. But
oh, really? That's a shame.
Yeah, he said some stupid things. But I'm more or less a fan of his acting, but I think the longer it goes, the worse and worse he gets. And his newest vehicle, and I do mean vehicle, is a little...
Car 3 with Liam Neeson?
It's a little movie you're going to be watching. Oh, boy, I wish. Oh, God, do I wish. It's a little movie you're going to be watching called Ice Road.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It doesn't look good.
Incidentally, I just found your next movie, and I'm very excited for it.
Fuck me.
Ice Road. Oh, man, this really did just come out now.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's a Netflix original.
Yep.
To save a team of miners trapped underground, a down-on-his-luck Ice Road trucker joins a mission across treacherous terrain to deliver rescue equipment. Why is this a movie? He's just driving equipment across ice roads?
Well, I'm sure there's going to be drama.
This is a reality show.
I'm sure there's going to be drama.
No, there's not. There's going to be bad guys who get shot easily, and their bullets don't work. God damn it. Larry, come on.
It looked bad.
Couldn't you... Can we bargain?
No.
Hold on, wait. Let me... What's another one we can watch here? Oh no, I'm still on the search for Ice Road. That just makes it horrible. There's got to be something good here. Oh god, there's nothing good. Oh no.
Nope, you're fucked. It's Ice Road, baby.
No.
You're gonna get on that ice road. You're gonna get in that big rig, and you're gonna, ride on towards the glorious future.
So in Ice Road trucks, they have like a little masturbation chamber, right?
I mean, trucks, like sleeper tractor trailers, have like a bed and a tiny area for living. But I mean, it's like the Japanese tube hotels. You have like a bed and maybe a microwave and a TV, and that's basically.
Is there a gap in the cushions to fuck?
No, you have to carve your own.
Well, I can make that work. It doesn't have to be deep.
Really committed to this fucking the couch cushions bit. Oh, I love you, Isaac. You stupid man.
God.
You stupid man.
I'm going someplace after I die, and it's not going to be good.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, boy. All right, well, Jesus, we are the Vals of Netflix. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, truly
Find
thank
us.
you.
We do appreciate it, and we're coming up, we might have hit it. We're coming up on 10,000 total listens,
Hell yeah.
which is a pittance
it's
in terms of real podcasting, but at the same time, the thought that people have hit play on our podcast 10,000 times is mind-boggling.
Fucking wild to me. Yeah, it's nothing to a real podcast, like a popular podcast. But yeah, it's a lot to us who, just like to fart around and make fun of each other and to watch awful, awful things.
So thank you from the bottom of our dicks.
You know what?
Find us on Facebook.
Thank you from the top of mine.
Oh, look at that. We could like 69er wieners.
Yeah, so sure.
Actually, what? How bad would it hurt?
No,
so okay.
No. Oh, God.
You have your erect penis. I have my erect penis. I lay mine like on top of yours, and then we wrap them up with duct tape, and then get flaccid again.
Oh Lord! Oh, that sounds awful. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh God! Oh Lord! That sounds like a form of torture.
Yeah, I mean, I probably shouldn't have had that be my entrance essay for Harvard. I think that's why I didn't get in.
Yeah, that might have something to do with it.
Jesus Christ. So do the Facebook, do the Twitter. Email us. I think I missed that at the beginning. valsandnetflix@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you if you have any suggestions of movies, if you've seen any of these movies, if you want to me, let me know. Let me know why I'm bad. I can take it. Oh, golly gee. All right, well, stay tuned, because next week we got Pup Star World Tour, and then after that I'm doing The Big Lebowski 2 weeks from now.
I don't think so,
fun.
motherfucker.
Yep. Oh, God.
Well, there's only one possible way we can end this, and that is with a Pootie Tang quote, which I have pulled up. So, smell you later. See, my dammy, Pootie Tang don't wada ta to the shamba cow, because that's a kama kama leapa chai, dig? Seppertown. fuck?
He has a magic belt and a ponytail that can block bullets. He speaks in a series of like jumbled up nonsense that, as the narrator tells us, somehow everyone just knows what he means.
What?
So I love Dirty D. Dirty D has grown on me considerably. He's the one part of this movie I thoroughly enjoyed for how stupid it was. He's covered in filth. He has a perpetual cloud of dust hanging about him like fucking Pigpen. Somehow in this like car wash scene which you don't really see, Pootie ends up outside and Dirty D is on the hood. But at the end of it, he's squeaky clean. He's like completely in a white suit and a white fur coat now.
What?
And the car's clean. And he's like passed out from shock. So Pootie Tang, clearly the villain of this film. His father's fatally injured at a steel mill when a man in a cheap gorilla suit attacks him. Truckee tells us it was only the third time a man had been mauled by a gorilla at that steel mill. He just kind of makes love to the microphone without any sound. And Richter and Truckee think this is fucking brilliant, even though it's dead silence. Just because a girl likes to dress fancy and stand on the street corner near some whores, you automatically think she's hooking? I'm a lady, you greasy bastard. Her dream is that someday some woman is going to, and I quote, kick your ass and love you to death. And you're going to be lying in the dumpster done banged to death by the dark side of love. And on that day, Pootie, I'm going to be there and I'm going to make sweet love to you. I hate Wanda Sykes, but these lines are so ridiculous, it's almost funny. Then is Pootie Greaves shouting gibberish at this mugger's corpse. Yeah, mugger just magically comes back to life. Yeah. The white sheriff, assuming one black guy is as good as the next, just puts the gun to Chucky's head, so Chucky has to marry Stacy. D says, I come to call you out, maggoty-eating bitch! I'm starting to love Dirty D. I wrote that at this point, because now he's the greatest.
He sounds pretty great.
Truckee tells us that Dirty D is still dirty because he's Dirty D, damn it.